Hello, I'm Jeff Colton, and this is presentation 2 for Accounting 6650. For this presentation, I've chosen to do the Giving Voice to Values Case 3-6, Bennie and the Jets. This case is about Bennie Gordon, an accounting manager at an electric utility company based out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's called Jet Energy Company. Jet Energy provides electricity to millions of customers in the southeastern United States, and is as a utility, it operates under some regulations. One of the regulations that it mentions in this case is that it is only allowed a maximum rate of return on operating income of 12.5%. If it earns more than that, then regulators can cut the rate that Jet Energy charges its customers for power. So it could basically then be a reduction in the overall operating income for them. Bernie has been with this company for about 2 years now and has since noticed some irregular accounting with regards to booking of some insurance rebates, and this totals approximately $56.5 million. Instead of offsetting the cost of the insurance rebates to the operating costs that they're tied to, the insurance premiums and whatnot, these rebates have been placed to a non-operating account, and this allows Jet Energy to stay below this maximum allowable rate and avoid any reduction of rates that they charge to their customers. Bennie feels that he needs to address this issue either with top management or, if need be, with the North Carolina Utilities Commission. The first question is, what process should Bennie Gordon follow in bringing his concerns out in the open, and do these include whistleblowing? Before I get to that, it mentions kind of the structure, the reporting structure of that Bennie has. There's first him, and then above him, he's an accounting manager. Above him, then there's his division controller, Sarah Higgins. Above her is the chief financial officer, Sam Thornton, and then the CEO, Vanessa Jones. It also mentions the chief compliance officer, Joan Franks, as well as the audit committee, which consists of 3 board members. So going back to this question, there's the first thing you should do is reach out to the internal organization, go up that chain of command, and first to his boss, the controller, then to the CFO, the CEO, audit committee, if need be. If nothing nothing changes there, then he may need to go to an external source, maybe starting with Jet Energy's external auditing firm, because they may know a little bit more about the reason for that accounting. And then, if need be, he could reach out to industry regulators such as the Utilities Commission. What are the ethical values that should be front and center in deciding how best to advise Bennie on what to do? Because this is from a perspective of he's come to me as a friend and he's asking what he should do. I think that it really comes down to a matter of what is right and fair for Jet Energy's customers. Those regulations that cap profits are in place to protect the consumers from getting gouged with things that they need, like electricity. And so I think with any ethical dilemma, you can go back to that golden rule of treating others how you'd like to be treated. And so if Bennie remembers those things, it'll help him. What reasons and rationalizations might be used, and how could he counter them? I think the main rationalization for this practice could be the profit that it generates for the company, and so there's kind of this locus of loyalty towards perhaps the shareholders in the company more than the customers. But he can counter this by trying to put the people in the customer's shoes as much as possible. Another rationalization would be that it's kind of just a standard practice, or it's a norm in the industry. I don't know if that's really the case, but that could be a possibility. And so, he could maybe say that this is a way for them to stand out from their competitors by having a little bit more moral integrity in this case. What levers can Bennie use to influence those that might disagree with him? He could threaten to go outside of the company, which I've mentioned already, and that could bring some more legal implications and such. But I kind of think that there's also some positive levers that he could use, such as maybe possibly using this as a marketing opportunity. They like to try and spin this kind of thing. So if they have to take that cut for the amount that they're charging customers, they could say that it's something they chose to do instead of something they were forced to do, and that might reflect positively on them. or it also, my understanding is that even there may not be a guarantee that this would even happen. So it's just kind of, it can happen, but it may not for sure happen. So it could be, something that he might want to bring up. My final advice to Bennie would just be to follow his conscience and do what he knows to be right. He's more than likely aware of these ramifications that could come upon Jet Energy and maybe even himself. And so I think there was a good point that I read or from Andy Fastow in a post incarceration interview, and he talked about how make the business decisions as if it were your own company or you're going to pass it to your children or grandchildren. I think that was a good point. So that's kind of what I would leave with him.